Welcome to True Image Fitness. Here is your host, the guru of motivation, Vance Daniel.
Hey, what's up, fitness fans? Good day to each and every one of you. I hope you are having a fantastic day. And by the time you finish watching this video, I hope you're feeling informed, energized, and motivated to continue on with the healthy lifestyle that is filled with nutrition and activity. So I wanted to circle back to an old topic, and that topic is calories and really understanding calories and caloric intake and the types of foods that we put into our body and how our body responds to calories. Now, there's only three places our calories come from. That's proteins, sugars, let's rephrase that. Proteins, carbohydrates, we'll talk about carbohydrates in a second, and fats. So the first place we'll talk about is proteins, and which is actually one of the most important places, because proteins are really our building blocks as far as muscle tissue, our organs building or being damaged and getting tissue to replace them. Proteins are the ultimate building blocks of tissue. And it's super, super important that we have enough protein intake in order to promote tissue regeneration. Carbohydrates, they come in two forms: simple, sugars, complex, polysaccharides, linked chains, which those are the ones that are really good because they break down slower, and we don't spike our insulin levels. And we'll talk about that in just a second. The next one is dietary fats. Now, those are the ones that are packed with tons of calories. In fact, twice as much per gram as fats and carbohydrates. And those are where we find in nuts and in meats, things of that sort. And we've got to be very, very careful because it's very easy to consume lots of fats rather quickly. And people get confused, not understanding the difference between those types of caloric intakes. One thing that people get really confused about is they'll say things like, I eat very clean. And they believe that by eating clean, and that means, I eat lots of fruits, I eat lots of nuts, I eat lots of vegetables, I only eat lean fishes. That is clean eating. But if you're eating clean and you don't understand caloric intake, if you're eating clean and you don't understand the way that your body responds to sugars, even if they're from fruit, then you're not going to have the body that you think you're eating for. Now, for the most part, those of us who are eating clean, we're looking for a lean physique. We want to have lean muscle mass, lower body fat, maybe a little definition, maybe just a flat tummy, not the perfect ultimate fitness body, but that's what we're going for. And that's typically what people want, but they find that they don't have it because they don't understand their caloric values and caloric intakes. Your body responds differently when you're eating proteins versus when you're eating high carbohydrates, even if they're clean carbohydrates. So let's say you're eating a high protein based nutrition program, moderate carbohydrates, and moderate dietary fats. Chances are, if you're working out and you're active, you're going to have that leaner physique. You're going to have a flat tummy. You might not have a six-pack, but you're going to be lean. But let's say that you're a person who eats a lot of fruit, and you're getting a lot of your caloric value from fruits. You're still eating high sugars. So your body's going to respond to sugar. When we eat high sugars, we spike our insulin levels. We tend to be a little bit more hungry. Then we end up going for more foods. And also, don't forget, carbohydrates aren't proteins. You're not going to get the same muscle fullness and muscle tone that you get when you eat a higher protein caloric dense nutrition profile. Dietary fats also help keep our muscles full and round and give them shape. Carbohydrates are primarily just an energy source, and usually a quick energy source. And again, there's a difference between sugars and those polysaccharides like in potatoes, and our whole grains, things of that sort, things that are a little bit slower. We don't want to spike our insulin levels once again because we get a hunger response and a fat storage response when we eat the simple sugars. Dietary fats, again, this is where I have to be super cautious. Nuts are good for you. They're fantastic. Fishes are great for you. The fish oils, omega-3 fatty acids, even the fats and some saturated fats in red meat in small doses. But again, it packs a huge punch. You get your caloric intake super quick when you are eating fat, so you have to be careful. Because once you go over your caloric intake, and I don't care what your caloric intake comes from, any of those three, once you get your caloric intake, once you go over, doesn't matter how clean you're eating, you're gonna store body fat. Everything extra gets stored as body fat. Everything extra gets converted, except for proteins. Proteins is a little bit harder. It is possible to eat too much protein and gain body fat. It's a little bit harder, but still possible because calories do matter, so remember that. Your body will convert proteins to glycogen and then store them as fat, so don't forget that. So you really need to understand that eating balanced is super important. It doesn't matter whether you're going ketogenic, whether you're going 30, 40, whatever profile you choose to use. If you're looking to drop body fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. You cannot be in a caloric surplus. And you're only living in 3 states at any given time. And that is surplus, where you're gaining, maintenance, where you're even, deficit, where you're losing. And you've got to learn how to get into those places and really understand what it is that you're doing in order to get to that point. And that takes knowledge, everybody. I can give you these little tidbits and these little tips, and I can give you a little bit of knowledge here and there, but you've got to be able to put it together and really understand what your caloric values are all about. And if you don't understand them, you're not going to get the physique that you want. So you have to understand caloric intake, caloric value, how your body responds to proteins, how your body responds to dietary fats, how your body responds to the different type of carbohydrates that you can consume. And by understanding that, then you will put together a nutritional profile that really fits you, your lifestyle, your level of activity, and your desired physique. And that's super, super important. Because a lot of people have been chasing a physique for years, and I've watched people chase and chase and chase. And I understand that they're not putting together the knowledge and the consistency that is required in order to reach the physique that they truly want and truly desire. So again, if you're looking for a little bit of help, you're looking for a little bit of guidance, drop me a line. I've got a program. I am happy to help and cut down on some of that time that you are maybe flailing a little bit, because the science is real and the science works. So we call it science. It's something that you can measure, that you can repeat over and over and over again and get the same results, the results that you want. Everything else, you're just spinning your wheels, and we don't want you to spin your wheels unless you're riding a bicycle, and then I want you to spin your wheels. Get up, get out, get moving, do something good for yourself. Hang loose and stay fit. I'll talk to you soon.